Vega Squadron's turn to ban. Navi's turn to ban. Vega Squadron's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Navi's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Earth Spirit.
Vega Squadron's turn to pick.
Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 between Vega Squadron and Navi. It's a first pick Earth Spirit. Mod packs on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do you hate that hero?
Oh, I like Earth Spirit. Are we hating Earth Spirit
Get the
now?
hell out of my cast.
No, he's I
10
don't know,
seconds
he's how do I put it? I don't think he's that
5 seconds
crazy.
remaining.
He's really good. He's a great hero. He's very aggressive early. He makes the early game extremely
Reserve
important. Like, he can cause one team to snowball like totally out of control. He's really great moving into the later stage of the game. So yeah, he is a super powerful support, but honestly I think like Vengeful Spirit's still better.
Yeah, I'm down with you. You know, a little bit of
Vega
saltiness left
Squadron's
over
turn
from
to pick.
pubs when Earth Spirit was truly the most cancerous thing ever. But ever since his changes, I feel like that, yes, in the right hands, he
Navi's
can
turn
be
to pick.
like a top tier support. But I feel like he's in a pretty decent place. Maybe like the nerf that actually, with the Ags change, that nerf, that helped out quite a bit. I think that just the insane amount of plays that an Earth Spirit could make once he had that Ags when it came to high ground defense, it was just like impossible to push into. So
Navi's
I think
yeah.
turn to ban.
that change really good. I think maybe like a slight nerf here and there could be warranted, but I'm with you. I think he's in a pretty good place. I think
Vega
there's just
Squadron's
a lot of
turn to
saltiness
ban.
left over from when he could, pull allies for free.
Oh yeah. He'll still be getting tweaked a little bit more, but you know who is
Navi's
still crazy overpowered? Well, that's
turn to ban.
Enchantress. Little Spronker. All right, I appreciate the salt on this hero, honestly. Like, the way that you can just throw this thing either in a 4 roll that roams around, probably not this game because you have the Earth Spirit, or just going right into position 3. You can just be unstoppable in the off lane, grab yourself a
10
Centaur, a
seconds
Satyr.
remaining.
What are you gonna do about it? Hey, throw into a position 1. Man, this
5
hero, man,
seconds
this hero, I'm
remaining.
okay with a lot more of a salt factor. I think she's like crazy right now. Like, what do you even do against her? Like, you have to
Reserve
draft
time.
magic nukes, but then you get some more tanky heroes on the rest of your squad, a couple BKB carriers, and then what are Vega Squadron gonna do with it?
Well, I'll tell you right now, what is pretty decent is these pure damage nukes coming out from Invoker and Bane. The sleep into a Sunstrike and Brain Sap, that feels like a good start in
Vega
like
Squadron's
encountering
turn to
Enchantress
ban.
101. Plus, isn't having Earth Spirit and Enchantress on the same team like doesn't this kind of ensure that Enchantress a
10
3
seconds
position?
remaining.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, because if it's a 4 position, then you've got double roamers,
5
and
seconds
then you'd have
remaining.
to get some really independent cores, especially for your safe lane carry.
Reserve time.
Yeah, so unless they plan on doing some like South American like position 1 Enchantress, that is one of the other benefits of Enchantress, that she gives you a little bit of mystique during your draft. You know, you don't know if that last pick's gonna end up being a support or a
Vega
core, but
Squadron's
opening
turn
up
to
because they
pick.
had to in a sense. They really wanted Earth Spirit, and obviously they wanted the Enchantress. So far, it looks like Vega Squadron are like coming out
Navi's
really
turn
on top of
to
this
pick.
draft, like really on top. You've got, as you said, Sunstrike plus Nightmare, but now you're also going to be adding on the humongous nukes of the Oracle early on. And this will not be the easiest life for an Enchantress, which is a rare thing to say.
Vega
Well,
Squadron's
Navi have
turn
certainly
to pick.
thrown a little bit of a wrench in things. I don't think it should be an offlane Enchantress. It just seems a little bit weird what they're going to be going for. Navi, didn't they recently run like a farming void?
Oh, was that them? Someone did. It might have been them. I'm not sure, but I have seen a couple of those little position 1 ones poking up here and there.
10 seconds.
It might be okay here in like a solo safe lane scenario.
5 seconds.
Maybe it was someone else.
remaining.
More than likely, this is going to be an Enchantress faces Void, dual
Reserve
off
time.
lane, and then Earth Spirits is going to be paired with what I can only assume is going to be some sort of independent carry from Navi in the top lane. That way Earth Spirit is offered that roaming potential into mid or perhaps even bottom, because it would seem like a shame to just use Earth Spirit, who's very, very clearly like one of his biggest powers at level 2 when he's roaming onto the mid lane. It would seem like a shame to try and use him as a zoning support more than anything else.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be getting all up and active, and I wonder, this is definitely a little bit of a predicament here for Navi. I wouldn't mind seeing something like an Undying that just like runs at them. Honestly, if you want to go like Enchantress Undying off lane, something you know where you can still use that creep to great effect. Like one of the great things about Enchantress against Bane is you have the brains up, obviously great pure damage, but it's also really hard to control him with Nightmare as long as she has a single creep around. And if she wants to maybe group up with a couple buddies, go up and wreck whoever's in the top lane,
Navi's
might be a little bit harder
Oh,
here.
God.
Ursa.
Enchantress just like, no more counters, please. She's already dealing with double pure damage nukes. You're dealing with one of the biggest, most offensive nukes coming out from the Oracle as well in magic damage, and now you've got the cream de la cream of Enchantress counters in Ursa.
What's even left? What's an offlaner that like wrecks Enchantress? That's really all they're missing at this
remaining.
point.
I don't know, like I bet like a Bat Rider would be a nice
5
initiator here for this
seconds
team.
remaining.
Outworld Devourer.
Ooh. All right, so they just go
Vegas
offlane
Squadron's
Omni Knight. That's the
turn
play,
to
and then they'll just put the repel on the Ursa, purify someone else, and then Enchantress's life is over. Gonna help out with the Chronosphere. It's gonna be the repel against the Earth Spirit and the OD. There you go. This is some like IX Mike level stuff right here. This was NA Dota. That'd be an offlane Omni
10
Knight coming out here,
seconds
but
remaining.
unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see it in this EU area. They
5
like these more
seconds remaining.
conventional and better heroes, which is
So they're pretty standard.
Reserve time.
Val Enchantress, Mako Earth Spirits,
what a brood.
offlane General Faceless Void,
Navi's
or
turn
a
to ban.
Brewmaster, or
No,
Brood
Bruise for Vega. Like, if they don't ban that here from Navi, that could actually be pretty scary. Yeah, okay.
that's a good.
Vega Squadron's
No
turn
way
to
we
pick.
clear whatsoever.
Mag's just, like, so sad right now, too. Just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Kind of got my Orchid up on the Enchantress. That could have helped, guys. There's some more attack speed.
Navi's
There, that's pretty good.
turn to pick.
You know, I was actually still down with like the Bat Rider pickup,
Yeah, for sure.
but I think this is like a Bat Rider, but without the same kind of counter opportunities. Because you have to deal with an OD. Like before against a Faceless Void, he's not the best hero to go up against as Bat Rider because he's a pretty good counter initiator. But you can still run it. The
10
OD on the
seconds
other hand,
remaining.
imprisonment like just destroys you so hard that it's
5
much better to
seconds
have
remaining.
a less committed single target disable at a Beastmaster, because if you jump
Reserve
forward as
time.
the Bat Rider and say you're the one who gets in prison, all of a sudden you haven't dragged that hero anyway. You're right in the face of the enemy and you're just gonna get blown up. The Weaver. Now you go back for the Weaver, which they recently ran. I think it was with the Faceless Void too.
Yeah, I think it was.
I like this
Maybe-
combination a lot too.
Yeah, this is good because when I'm thinking about the draft too, I've been kind of thinking more in the meta sense when it comes to the Enchantress as well as the Earth Spirit, but I have to remember that this is Na'Vi, so you can almost always guarantee that it's going to be an art style Enchantress, so it does kind of wind up being this position 5, which is, it's not the most common thing for Enchantress, but it's the way he plays his Chen. Like, he doesn't really play a greedy Chen either. So you're not getting the heal factor, and maybe it comes on a little bit later than the other Enchantresses that you do see in general play, but it'll still be up to art style to kind of use this in a more supporting tone rather than your general, destructive, I'm going to dominate the entire first 20 minutes Enchantress.
Right. See how our laning phase breaks down here, because Vega Squadron, I like this play from solo, just because I'm looking at this, like, the roaming potential of these heroes, which is, what both Seneko and Artstyle are known for, right? It's being able to provide a strong roaming presence. Like, that was what Seneko did so well on the Winter Wyvern back in the day, and that was just something that Artstyle in particular, with the way he marks junglers, is known for as well. You need to be able to get some good vision up to make sure you see these heroes rotating around. And what we have here is a ward from Solo that doesn't block anything, but is going to give you probably the most amount of vision of the Enchantress that's possible with her rotation between these two camps and heading to both mid as well as bottom to gank.
Yeah, that's really important. Obviously, Mag being here on the Beastmaster doesn't really have the most survivable skill set compared to something like the Faceless Void. And pretty interesting item build coming out here. Only going for the tangos. He's not picking up an immediate Iron Talon or anything. Not sure if he's thinking about just going towards like an early bottle. Possibly thinking more towards like points into the wild axes. But no, he'll just, I don't know. We'll see what he wants to do.
Would it be worth considering going as far as like picking up complete poor man shields if you're matched up against a Weaver? Like, obviously the agility doesn't benefit a Beastmaster, but with Weaver specifically in the way that he harasses you, particularly with Geminate attack, do you think that reduction is worth an investment?
30 seconds.
I'm sure he would save the amount on consumables that, from Geminate attack just by going for the poor man shield over just the stout. And it's possible that he might want the gold to go like, faster pair of boots, make sure that I can do something for my team if I need to rotate maybe, but I would be like completely fine with the poor man shield.
I think boots is probably the smart pickup here, because if you're left one-on-one, which is potentially what's going to be happening here, right, with double roamers. If you're left one-on-one against a Weaver, you can't allow him to just play super aggressive against you constantly and using that Shukuchi. You need to be able to outmatch the Weaver in movements when Shukuchi is down. That way, every single time he tries to Shukuchi through you and get some harassment damage, you turn and you fight him as best as possible, and you get some harassment damage back. That way, you can even potentially force out defensive Shukuchis if you manage to get a good position where you can just run at him a couple of times. So I like the boots idea.
Yeah, it kind of feels like he needs a sentry too, though, to actually be able to maximize like double boars or something like that.
It might not have been a bad idea for the support to start out with early sentry wards and just pass one over to Mag.
Because if Ditcher Raw plays this right, like, how is he ever going to harass him? Like, it feels like the boards will just be totally useless.
Yeah, there'll be potential food, as you could already see. Ditcher Raw picking up a free one there.
And top lane, I mean, nothing too surprising here, General. This should be pretty good for him. A lot of burst damage, obviously, going to be able to use that time walk. Ursa and Bane obviously stacking on really quickly, and they don't have that much control, so it's going to be like damage into a nightmare, hold off, and then go back into more damage if you don't want him to actually time walk at all.
He gets him with the imprisonment. They're going to be able to surround Solo here, tries to make the Ancients play, but it is soaked up by Artstyle and our first blood.
That was so close. I thought those mud golems were going to turn right on there, but a nice little aggro there. That won't be the case.
You know what's kind of annoying for Faceless Void in this matchup is, because I've played this before, it's the fact that Fury swipes last so long.
Oh yeah, you kind of
forget. No one, nice jump in from Seneko, gets the push back onto No One. The turnaround though, looks like Seneko's going to be dying first. No One is still dead, and it's a worthwhile trade, but good play all around from No One, making the best out of a bad scenario.
Yeah, this is a pretty risky lane too, because you have every time he gets lifted, you always have the risk of the roll coming in, and being able to set that up so easily, that slow is just like so brutal from the rolling boulder. That was the thing I thought was going to get nerfed, honestly.
Sudden strike onto Artstyle. He's going to be brought pretty low here. Another right click. Sioma Slayer is able to get the kill there on Artstyle. Nicely played. Meanwhile, Pasha left alone against General, just keeps on going at him. General is going to try and commit here for enough to get a time lock. He actually jumps forward. This is pretty dangerous commitment, but Pasha does not
Should he be fighting
have,
us? It's 5 stacks.
I'm surprised he didn't, because he also had the Mango. So he could have popped Mango and hit an Earth Shock as well. At the very
That was
least,
definitely
just,
in this play.
you know, down.
I don't know if like Pasha doesn't play a lot of Ursa or something, but that was definitely the play there. Like 5 stacks of Fury swipes. It's risky for the bash, but
I can't believe General made that play. That was so ballsy to time walk forward and be like, oh, I'll battle this out. I'll battle this out with the Fury swipes just stacking up on me.
well, it's certainly going to work out for him. He came up here with a ton of tangos. He's still got 3 remaining, having burned through 5 of them, so doing a pretty good time. Ditcheraw's just like eating boars in the bottom lane right now. Just stacking up like a creep count. You know, he managed to get 11 CS here from Meg, though, so he's going to be kind of happy with that. Give himself a pull-off because there's no supports to get in the way, so no surprise here. Meg, he's just so solid in the offlane. Like, he always manages to get something. This seems like a matchup that you should be able to do a thing in, honestly.
No time I look at General. He's getting that time lock. Getting pretty lucky on these bashes onto Pasha.
I'm so surprised that this is lasting so long, but, you know, the support, they put all its intention on the mid lane, trying to keep no one alive. You don't want your Invoker to have such a bad time. You're worried about Suneko on his Earth Spirit, and the matchup's not going that poorly for him up top. But Suneko, he's got the rolling boulder as well. Looks like they should be able to body block this, so it'll be what help Dendi can give.
And good kick there, and they will be able to still get the kill. Solo running himself up towards the Ancients again. He tries to get the disarm on Dendi and runs to the Ancients, but Artstyle is there with the ensnare, making sure he doesn't get there in time. And I mean, what was Solo dead? Like, was his positioning bad enough that he had to just keep going forward? Because all of a sudden I noticed in that fight, I'm just like, why is Solo running forward farther into the enemy?
Yeah, I think he knew he was about to get netted anyway, so he was just trying to make some sort of a play towards the Ancients, but either way, it's not going to work out. Alright, here we go. So, like, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, time walk, and then now you get the lane to yourself. Okay. I feel like Pasha just needs a support to, like, yeah, I know the mid lane, like, it's kind of a disaster right now, guys, but if they can just get a slight control of this wave up here, like, maybe if they had it blocked off that side camp as well, it feels like Ursa should have a really good time.
Yeah, if you can sit, you know, the creep wave in this area, yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. He's got the phase boots pretty damn early. He could just force out General, time walk, and, you know, especially if it's before when it was a 18-second cooldown. You know, you just run at the face's void, you'll always be able to have phase boots to force a time walk, and then he has to sit back for a good, you know, 10 to 15 seconds at the very minimum, and not be able to contest for CS whatsoever.
They're starting it now. Like, they're going to come up, put the ward down, give Pasha a little bit of space. Going to try and get a little bit of control here on the wave. And basically, no one, he's like on his own at this point. You're just going to hope that Suneko doesn't make too many rotations in the mid lane and apply some pressure elsewhere.
They're going to try and force out the time walk into a sleep here. General's holding on to the time walk knowing that it was necessary. Good call by him. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, no one is going to be chased down. Dendi trying to get one last right click in. He gets one. He needs a second, though. No one. Oh, don't block yourself up! Don't block yourself up! He's trying to block Dendi, but it's not going to happen. He ends up dying. Solo has now come in, but he's going to get taken out as well, and Suneko's made his roam across. Meanwhile, farther up, Sioma the Slayer has had to sleep up General and TP himself away because Na'Vi are just a wrecking ball running through this middle lane.
That's pretty rough. It kind of feels like more of a luck play if the Force Spirit lands on the right side, you know what I mean? Like, you have to try and turn around, cast it, and he would have caught up to him, though, because he did have the faster move speed there on the OD, so it's an understandable play there by no one, but can't quite get it to work out.
Na'Vi.
Oh, I love this positioning here.
Good start here for game number 2. Vega Squadron need to be able to get some control of their jungle. They're going to try and go on to Artstyle here, waking himself up, but that's not going to be enough. Solo comes in with the extra nukes. Now they're going to look for a second kill here on the Suneko, but the Hellbear Smasher is right on top of no one. He needs saving. The Oracle is there for that. And Bane, it's like, didn't have the mana nor the cooldown to be able to slow down the Suneko Earth Spirit.
Yeah, they missed the initial clap there from art style, so a little bit harder there to pull that one off though. But it looks like the supporting cast might have been able to save him anyway. So, Saul's up. It's understandable, like, you've got this really deep ward, you want to take advantage of the fact that you do have the Enchantress, but they're playing very defensively inside the Vega. And yeah, it's costing Pasha a bit up top, like, he hasn't got quite all the help that he'd like, but despite not killing, you know, general, they're still pretty happy. He's only got 17 last hits, Pasha's doing great, he's already up to almost 50 right now, so he's definitely hanging in close with Ditchera.
Type, time walk. Away to the side. Chronosphere is ready to go, so there is an inherent amount of danger in diving the Faceless Void now. Be careful of that. Try and push down the tower for now. Style is gonna need to spend a bit more time farming it away, it seems. It's still not level 5 by 8 minutes in. Obviously, this is pretty far behind for an Enchantress, but that's kind of what roaming does to you.
Yeah, especially when they don't go all too well. You know, couple deaths on this part there, but 2-2-2. Not the worst situation. Ditchera's starting to get a little bit aggressive. He's already got his ring of health. Went for the early treads. You know, those days that no boots weavers are pretty much gone. Everyone tending to pick up boots now, but it looks like it'll be just the standard Lincoln Sphere, but it's a good game for it, obviously. You know, Bane, with the Fiend's Grip, as well as the Nightmare, the Roar, plenty of great tools to be able to use that Lincoln Sphere, and you really do just need the mana regen and the health that you get from it.
I think the treads feels pretty much like an necessity. I'm surprised he actually hasn't gotten the full Ring of Aquila yet, just because the mana cost for Weaver is so high, but I guess if he gets the Perseverance fast enough, it makes up for it. Lead on the mid lane, Seneko is going to be the target here of the first Mag Beastmaster Primal Roar. He smoked up earlier, was still in order to get that kill, but I think they were hoping that they would actually get successful rotation onto the Weaver. Shira has had total free farm. This is very clearly a matchup that the Weaver does win against the Beastmaster, so need to try and shut down his farm before he gets that fast Lincoln Sphere. Meanwhile, the smoke of their own, Mag is going to be turned around on. They have the Imprisonment. Artstyle has Centaur Stun number 1, Centaur Stun number 2. Mag is dead without even needing Dendy's ultimate, which he still hasn't leveled. Standard. Wants to have the complete Arcane Orb before he goes for the ult.
Yeah, and this is like, we're moving into around the 10-minute mark. This is where you tend to start seeing some of these first big items come out, whether it be your mechs or your drums. Dendy heading in towards a set of his own here. Oh, they do have the Chronosphere up top on this. Looks like he's just dead. Yeah. Alright, that's solid. First Chronosphere for support is totally understandable. You know, maybe it's not the dream, but all that matters right now is that you want to get some farm up so that you can contest Roshan, make sure you're not going to be giving up to the Ursa, because you know that's Vega's target right now. Like, that's really the only objective anyone's striving for right now. You don't have any real push lineups here, it's just Roshan.
Dies, 2-man Centaur stun there. We'll be able to stop any pursuit, rather, on the Enchantress. I don't like the fact that that was about the time for them to be aggressive. If the bottom lane is being pushed out, being aggressive and getting the quick initiation at the top lane makes a lot of sense. I mean, you guarantee essentially what is either going to be the kill at top lane and maybe some rotations in return, and if that happens, you guarantee that the bottom tier 1 tower goes down. If not, you at least ensure that there's not going to be a good team fight. Sioma Slayer is going to be caught here, rotation in from both General and Seneko, but Seneko is going to die in return. Solo burst him down with the Invoker. He tries to get Dendy as well, but knows that Dendy's too far away for that fortune.
All right, a little bit of a 1-for-1 here. Plenty of trades going on here. We're only 8 and 6. You know, no one's really starting to pull too far ahead. Na'Vi, like, it is a slow lead, but you don't really feel like Vega out of it just because of that Roshan that could come out here. But grab the tower, a little bit of a roar there. Oh, Sunstrike, that might be enough damage there. 359, yeah, see ya.
That was quite the combination.
That's great too. That's gonna get the Midas there on no one. So try and recover that mid lane. Obviously, he's 2,300 below the OD. Not too surprising, kind of a lane dominant here, but they are gonna go for the play. This is what you need.
Remember when Oracle was even stronger with this combination, when Fate's Edict amped up physical damage?
Yeah,
now, I'm surprised he's still not doing that play, just because disarming Roshan is helpful to prevent those bashes, but they attempt Roshan. Na'Vi is there to respond. Can't quite punish, but think Vega Squadron are still wise to try and poke at Roshan as early as you can and see if Na'Vi are prepared for it.
Yeah, this lets you know that they definitely have some sort of vision around the pit, and I mean, it's obviously on everyone's mind. You know this is what's going to be happening. General?
General dead. The kick comes in time. The Sunstrike still lands. He managed to get off a Chronosphere onto 2, though, and Siam the Slayer should be dying. Not a good miss there for Artstyle. He still managed to... Oh, no, they actually don't get Seneko, and Pasha needs to be saved here. They drop the ultimate from the OD. It looks like they're going to have to kill... Oh, the kick! Long range hits Pasha, allows the heroes to be able to catch up with him. They're going to get solo as well, and Na'Vi, just like last game, it seems, find their timing to just roll over Vega Squadron after a slight mistake.
Yeah, they were just all ready for that play. The drums there from Dendi helping them to punish, just chase them all down. Like, all you need with OD is a little bit of move speed and a little bit of lockdown in general. Getting that Chronosphere off, obviously massive, giving the time for the rotation. And what are they going to do up against Dendi? Like, the control factor, like now the Fiend's Grip is down, you basically have to rely on the Roar, and as long as you have not only everyone controlling up Vega Squadron to help out Dendi, but the amount of focus they're putting on Dendi is going to allow Ditya to just kind of run free. Start building into this Lincoln Sphere, outputting all that damage that Weaver can contribute early. It's usually just difficult for him because he's the one who's getting, you know, Fiends gripped and roared, but Dendi's definitely the really scary factor right now.
Solo tries to play very greedy here. Bottom lane and go for a quick pick off on Seneko. He is not going to be fortunate enough to get out, I don't think. Looks like they're going to try and go for Roshan once again. They eat the Satyr real quickly. And Na'Vi are going to be forced to contend this once again. They know the Earth Spirit is either at half HP or back at base. Chiron's going to show himself. Quick Shikuchi onto Pasha. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to commit again. Yeah, this is just too dangerous. You've lost your Fury swipes on Roshan. You can't afford to run out of the pit and be able to go back in. It just doesn't last long enough.
Oh man, this is so bad though for Vega. Like, they know they need to try it now while the Sandy's Eclipse is out, while the Chronosphere is not up, but now that timing gets starting to switch completely around. Like, Sandy's Eclipse coming back up shortly, the Chronosphere will be ready by the time they actually engage here.
Smoke ready to go. Pasha's going to show himself. Seneko goes for the kick. Does land on no one. Pasha already trying to eat up General. Will be able to force him back at the very least. Looks like Seneko's going to be the first one down. Meanwhile, the Chronosphere, oh, it doesn't quite catch 3 as they hoped. Solo's going to be forced to use his ultimate on himself while no one's Meteor does kind of miss there. They're looking for Mag. He's going to try and TP out, but it's not going to be enough. Solo committing for Dendi. Not quite enough. No, he does get him just at the tail end. No one. Nice invoke into our Tornado's going to try and TP away. That's not going to happen. He knows it too, and instead tries to run himself away. Doesn't happen. And Vega Squadron with an Ursa lineup are not going to be able to take Roshan. And if you can't take Roshan, I'm fairly certain that an Ursa lineup just loses the game. You cannot afford to ever lose control of Roshan.
No, and Arthel with the full points and untouchable makes it so easy for them. Just General Ditya bashing away while Roshan struggles to tickle the poor Enchantress. And it looked good, right? Like, the Chronosphere wasn't ideal. He had a really nice setup there, but couldn't quite get the positioning for it. And even then, they couldn't get the fight off there from Vega. So from now, your strategy kind of changes. Like, you have to essentially be defending your towers. You need to be using the Beastmaster Hawk to try and put off some sort of ganks. But when you don't have the Aegis, you don't have the early Blink Dagger here from Pasha, it's going to be really hard for them to get back into this. It's going to be like Roars, Brain Saps, and Sunstrikes to bring this back into this game.
Yes, they need to just pick Na'Vi off one at a time, over and over again, but I don't think Na'Vi are going to allow that to happen. They're going to run in these kind of 2 or 3 man kill groups that they know is probably going to be successful in finding.
This is one up top, though.
Yeah, this is a big one. I'm not sure if Dendi really planned this one out too much because he's so far ahead. I'm not sure if Senego's going to be able to provide the save. They do manage to get the silence to stop that one out, gets out the imprisonment. Now the ultimate's going to be laid down, but the Lincoln Sphere managed to block that one out. Ditya past the Blink is over just in time, and now the team fight falls apart for Vega Squadron. They couldn't get the quick kill, and now that cost them everything, as they will only lose. Although lose 3 in exchange for the kill on Dendi, and it looks like Seneko's still able to get out as well.
They get the roar off and he doesn't Astro. I feel like that kill happens before the rotations are able to come in.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough. It's understandable. You're trying to maximize everything. You know, your mana burning with your Necro Creep. You're doing a little bit of micro work there, and then suddenly the Fiend's Grip ends, and you're just like, oh shit. Like,
Radiant's middle tower is under
that's rough.
attack.
That's exactly what they needed. Like, it was so close for Vega. You could just feel it. We had to commit everything for it, but now Na'Vi, they can start rolling themselves in. The Necros are going to be down here for the Beastmaster for another 40 seconds, which is essentially their most powerful tool right now, honestly, until there's a Blink Dagger up on Pasha. But even then, it's going to be Blink, Phase Boots, Ursa. I don't even know if he can do anything at that point. This is going to be like a Mask of Madness game, honestly. Just like complete YOLO.
Dagger up.
Top tower has fallen.
See how he works with it. These cores are just not good for an Ursa to jump on.
Yeah, they don't have the lockdown, honestly. Like, you have the roar and you feel like it's going to work, but with that Lincoln Sphere up, you can guarantee one of those is going to be getting canceled.
Maybe that was too much commitment by Na'Vi. The Ursa pickup against the Enchantress.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, possibly, but at the same time, it could just be like completely the other way if you do get that first Roshan. Like, it feels like you win that mid lane, maybe you were thinking that, oh, we have a Bane, like we can apply that pressure, but not like you were countering out the Enchantress so much, but you didn't even spend any time with her, you know? It was just all on the mid lane because it was an off lane Faceless Void.
Solo is going to be hit here by the Chronosphere. They're going to try and make the commitment to finish him off. Solo's going to get a little bit more heals out and should be able to survive. Pasha jumps in, now has to jump right back out with the TP scroll. That damage too much for him to handle. And Na'Vi can attempt, don't quite manage to succeed, but still manage to extract themselves successfully without losing anybody.
Well, Na'Vi, they are looking good again here. It's 18 minutes, and they're already up to that 10k lead, looking much better than last game even, with an even bigger lead for them. And you don't really have those same tools on Vega. You know, there's no Drow Ranger that's getting a couple more levels as this comes in, helping out the rest of the team. It's really just a struggling core, level 9 Ursa, unable to get up anything but a Blink Dagger so far, and it's all on no one. Like, what sort of plays can you make as an Invoker? He's starting to get these levels, but he doesn't have a Chronosphere. He doesn't have a Disruptor or something to create like a Darkseer. Like, there's no AoE lockdown at all. It feels like it's going to be like blind luck or a Roshan fight where he can actually shine in one of these engagements.
The big Dendy's getting.
Oh, he's terrifying.
The Rod of Atos pickup, that he's actually tanky enough to survive through this combination that that Invoker's going to be launching. The Beastmaster and the Ursa are having a hard time being able to catch him out well enough. The imprisonment's always going to be there, it seems. Feels like Vega Squadron have to go for like some really aggressive like split push / smoke plays or something. Down with the Slayer. Did sleep up General, but I don't think he was quite sure whether or not he can actually make a Fiend Script player there or not, and it turns out, well, all of Na'Vi were right behind him. That would be the tier 2 tower down.
I think a lot of OD players would have went for the BKB. Maybe not with Fiend Script and Roar and Ursa. I don't know. I feel like you still want up against the Invoker, but honestly, this Atos just like completely cancels out anything the Ursa's gonna be able to do. You can see the initiation range it grants them without having to use Chronosphere, and that free pick, it's what allows this high ground push.
Jesus, no one slowed down. They get the Chronosphere on him as well to give the vision for Dendy to be able to finish him off. And the Ursa's just, he doesn't do anything in these fights. He shows up, gets kited around immediately, ends up dying. General's going to try and, nope, he cancels his TP. Makes a time walk out instead. Double buybacks here from Vega Squadron. Will be able to chase Na'Vi out of the base, but they go too far. They will be turned around on, guaranteed. Now the ultimate draws from Dendy. He still had so much intelligence stolen. Will be able to get a nice kick onto the Oracle. The imprisonment buys him a little bit of time. Fiend Script, see how the Slayer knows this will be it. There is nothing stopping Na'Vi at this point in time. Pasha survives, but to what means, really? Na'Vi are right inside your base. They're going to right-click down this tier 3 tower, and even if you don't lose a lane of Rax here, simply because Na'Vi don't have the best push power just yet, you're destroyed when it comes to, like, economically. 14,000 gold lead, Na'Vi 10,000 experience lead. They are going to be able to take that tier 3, start focusing down the melee Rax. Bane and Beastmaster not going to be up in time.
Yeah, this is just like, obviously, you know, it's elimination. This is the end. Like, you lose this, you're not going. So it's understandable you want to fight for everything, but there's going to be an Aghanim Scepter here now on your Enchantress. You don't have the heroes to do this. Ursa is just not the hero.
Blink Dagger now for Dendy, just making it a bit harder for Vega Squadron to be able to successfully lock him down.
Yeah, and there's one here as well for general, so that's really going to be, like, you can already see these lovely deep wards that are put in here by Suneko, so he'll have a general idea as to what they're going to be doing on the next high ground push. Yeah, see who's sitting back in this area as they come towards either the bot or probably the mid lane next, seeing how they want to split it up. And what do you even do as Vega? Like, there's no reason Na'Vi ever have to split up, honestly. Like, you don't need to farm anything, you're so far ahead.
Jacob misses both his boulder as well as the kick. Will be quickly eliminated, but it still looks like Na'Vi are in a position to be able to get some pickoffs of their own. Solos, he's definitely going to go down. He just puts himself in the front lines and soaks up damage. Mag thinking about that one. Oh, Chronosphere on 3, though, as General makes the right blink in and will be able to catch as many Vega Squadrons as they possibly need to be able to win the fight. No one getting away with some invis. No, there they have counter vision.
Disher up on eggs instead of Deso. What a clown.
Alright, that sounds good to me.
That's how you know the game's over.
Now he's got like 1900 HP plus a Lincoln's being put on him, and then there's the Axe Weaver.
Just no hope whatsoever. Wow, well played by Na'Vi, man. I know they've looked good lately, but I wasn't expecting such a trouncing. But first game was like warm-up, and then second game they just came full tilt. That Vega draft, it was anti-Enchantress, but it was not anti-OD Weaver.
Yeah, certainly not. The Weaver especially had plenty of opportunities to be able to shine. And so Na'Vi, after they had faced up against Vega Squadron not so long ago in 2 different best-of-ones, and it went